So there's this beautiful line in one of the prayers that our tradition has given to us, which says, "When the busy world is hushed." I love that. I love it because it signals a shift, one of respite and return, and sometimes even rest. The prayer itself is entitled "In the Evening," and it's in the back of the prayer book and those list of wonderful prayers. And though it is the morning, I'm reminded of how that prayer relates to the gospel. You see, when I'm ready to say the evening office during the week, I make my way through what, for the most part, is a darkened church, save for the light that's coming in through the windows. Most nights I walk up this aisle, and then I go past that sort of bank of votives before I make my way to the chapel. And to my surprise, there are always some votives burning, despite the campus being locked. It seems there is nothing that will get in the way of prayer here, even locked doors. And for that, I'm thankful and impressed that work gets done around here. For those candles, they're lit for cancer patients and brothers, for those with progressive diseases, and for those we love. They're lit for those who are burdened by the changes and chances of this life. Those lights burn in thanksgiving for those who are about to be married and for those who are about to be baptized. Everything on the horizon. But for now, prayer that travels at the speed of light, candlelight. Those small lights are lit because somewhere, somehow, someone has asked, "Will you pray for me?" And when I walk these corridors at night, the light of your prayers offers silent testimony that while others sleep, light shines in the darkness, and that prayers surround us even when we don't know it. You know, these past few weeks, we've returned to John's Gospel and spent a significant amount of time listening to what was said that night. How on the night before Jesus died, he washed his disciples' feet, he fed them, and prayed for those he had shared his ministry with. How when dusk was giving way to night and the busy world was hushed, he looked up to God and said, "Take care of my friends. Take care of these, your own, who I've shared my life with, who I have come to love." You know, scholars refer to this part in John's Gospel as the farewell discourse. But to me, it's much, much more than that. It's a life lesson. Yes, Jesus is saying goodbye in a way, though somehow we know that he will always be with them. Or to the point, Jesus is saying, "I love you," by invoking the Spirit, willing the advocate to come. And he's doing this through intercession, through prayer on our behalf and behalf of the world. And there in the waning moments of that night, he teaches us one final lesson before the great lesson of the cross, and that is that service walks hand in hand with prayer, and how all such actions ultimately rest in love. 2 weeks ago, I received a call from a friend who had just lost his best friend in a tragedy that probably no one will ever truly understand. And in moments such as those, sometimes anger, misunderstanding, sadness, and grief, they kind of run into each other. And as my friend held the pieces of his friendship in his hands, I imagined him looking at me with eyes that knew he would never be able to put what he had back together again, save for the hope that rests in memory. But he wasn't there yet. And then I said the only thing that made sense to say in those moments, what can I do? It always amazes me that even now such things come out of my mouth when I know the answer for the most part is nothing. I mean, do what? I could no longer put back together his brokenness than I could a single-use toy from the Dollar Tree. And the fragility of those moments is so very real. I have to remind myself to be careful. And so I winced, waiting for his reply. And then it came. Pray for him. Pray for me. And what I heard in those moments was, pray, brother, because I can't. Pray because I don't know how to express the loss that I feel. Pray because the emptiness hurts. And pray because I miss him. He was my friend. Pray because we shared good times. You remember you were there for a few of them. You saw him laugh, hug his kids, and kiss his wife. Pray because as dark as it is right now, you can see the light and I can't. Maybe if you hold this space with me, there will be light again. I just can't see it now. And maybe I don't want to. Because realizing that means that I'll go on, and that all that will be left of him is the memories I carry and the way that he is still here in the eyes of his girls. I don't know what to do with that now. Or maybe it's pray because there's no cure for this thing. Pray because I feel like I've been robbed of time with my baby and I can't do anything to save them. Pray, brother, because I can't right now. Carry her for me. Carry her with me. And then carry me. And you know what? Somehow we do just that. We pray even though we don't have the words. We do that because we're a community who bears each other's burdens and who has come to know that when someone asks for prayer, it's not a last-ditch effort or an arbitrary request. It's because finally, when the myth of control has been busted, the only thing that we have left for each other is love. And that the ways we can do something is to comfort, to witness, to be, is to intercede, to join with, to show up, to listen, and to pray. And there in the space is a rhythm all of God's own, a place that is governed not by the dynamics of time and space, but suspended by the gift of Pentecost. It's there through the gift of prayer, whether it's clunky, written, prescribed, or spontaneous. And it's there that we realize that Paul was right. There is something in us that sighs in response to something too deep for words, and indeed intercedes not just for us, but for others as well. The same Spirit prayed for in the gospel is the same Spirit that descended upon the disciples, and now through the grace of baptism rests in all of you. That same Spirit gives us the strength to do some impossible things. It may have you traveling across the country to be with friends who need you because you know how to be there. To be there to write plays for English class because the teacher somehow forgot that their student is going through chemo. It braces you when you know that the only thing that you can do for your kid as she experiences a dark night of the soul is to hold her. Gives you the power to forgive and continue to forgive in the face of betrayal. It says that not even death by someone's own hand means that they are beyond the love of God, and that goodbye is never the last word. This is a powerful gift, my friends. It's an awful gift, and it's a wonderful gift. Pentecost commemorates the Spirit's descent upon us, and I give thanks for the Spirit's continued work in and amongst us, because just as sure as there was these dark nights of the soul that I mentioned, there are days when I get texts like these. Good morning. Praying your sweet family is all together safe and sound. Excited to finally meet Morgan. Just to let you know some good news, Luke's numbers jumped up. He's going home after a blood transfusion this morning. We'll return to the hospital June 1st if numbers keep going up. Thank you for all your prayers. He's halfway through.